Good morning, guys. Just an update here. I just got up. I actually, this is the latest I got up since I've been juicing, and I had a headache. I get weird dreams every night, but this was sort of strange, and I think compounded my headache. It was a stressful dream. I was, yeah, very weird. But it's almost like I'm battling with myself with unchecked things. I think maybe I have to. I haven't done any child work in a while. Actually, the last child work I did was a couple months ago, I guess. Whenever I got censored on this channel and I created that other channel, was the last time I had done child work. That was when I had released my 3 or 4 year old self from the entities that were on top of him in the townhouse that I grew up in until I was 6 years old. So yeah, I haven't done any child work since then. And it's been on me that, it's time for me to start doing some, to recheck back in and see if I've opened any more doors through my healing. So I'll be doing that here, very soon. Because it almost feels like I'm hitting a wall with certain things, or like certain things need to be addressed. So I'm getting my intuition's telling me that's something I need to address again. But I just want to mention two things that are on me. We sit here and we moan, we bitch, we gripe, we complain, and, we say how we're enslaved. We say how, we've been at disadvantage, depressed, suppressed since we were born. All these things, while they are true, this is part of the healing process, is recognizing and accepting those things. However, wallowing in and getting stuck in those things and not moving past those things is very dangerous. It's dangerous, first of all, to ourselves, and then it's poisonous and toxic to those around us. Because, we're all on our own journeys and our own paths of that journey and our own levels of that journey at the moment. And, the last thing we need to be doing is spreading hopelessness and negative negativity. Of course there's negative things, but the last thing we need to do is just sit here and wallow in them. So I want to touch on two things. First of all, if you are sitting there wallowing in self-pity, if you're wallowing in woe is me, if you're wallowing in hopelessness, if you're wallowing in, I'm enslaved, there's nothing I can do, if you're doing that shit and you're still putting toxins in your mouth through the poisonous, toxic, chemically processed junk and cooking your food and all these things, and you're not taking steps to eliminate all that toxicity and putting the one thing that is the least toxifying for our body, which is fresh fruits and fresh raw veggies in your mouth, then you have nothing to complain about. Until you start taking those actions, that personal responsibility, and being disciplined enough to not participate in your enslavement and in your toxicity, you have nothing to complain about. If you're complaining and bitching and moaning and griping, and all you're taking in through your ears and your eyes is propaganda and things that are part of this illusion, like sports, politics, world events, entertainment, music, these things that prop up the systems that enslave us. If you're griping and complaining and moaning and bitching, and all you are is taking in toxicity through your ears and your eyes, you have nothing to complain about. You're participating in propagating your own abuse. It's common sense. If you're bitching and moaning and complaining, and you are feeding into this system that is the purpose of you bitching and moaning and complaining, then why are you bitching, moaning, and complaining? Obviously, you're in love with the drama. Obviously, you're addicted. You got to see, this is what I'm saying. On the other channel, see, I've been putting videos up. If you guys aren't subscribed to both my channels, Richard Swink and Embodied Souls, I'm putting several videos up. And on Embodied Souls, I've been reading from You Are the Placebo, proving that this is a mental game. Guys, the powers that be know this. That's why they've enslaved you mentally. Because by enslaving you mentally, they don't have to physically have a agent of the state there overwatching you and making sure that you comply every day. Because they've already enslaved you mentally, so they know, they've got you programmed. They know how the brain works. They know how the mind works. That's why everything you watch on TV, all your entertainment is programming. It's all 100% programming to keep you policing yourself, to keep you in your own mental handcuffs. All your TV, all your entertainment, all your TV shows, it's mocking your abuse. All that music is mocking your abuse. All of it. Every single bit of it, or they wouldn't let it come out. Every single bit of it is mocking your abuse, or they would not let it come out. These are the same people that, see, this is how they play the game, guys. They control the opposition. So when they see that there's an opposition starting, they jump in front of it, they control the narrative, and they run with it, and they skew it. Instead of that opposition going straight ahead into the territory where it's supposed to lead by the faculties of our human mind, which is intelligence and reasoning, they start slowly steering it off to this way and off to this way. And then they have other agent provocateurs that come in to the movement and steer it in 50 other different directions. This is a very simple process, and we are all human. It's not like we have 5,000 different ways to live. No, we have one way to live, and that's as a human. And it's very simple. And if we'd all just quit reaching out and looking to all these different authorities and experts and anybody to tell us what to do, like they programmed us to do, so that we wouldn't trust ourselves. See, and that's the thing. They took our power by abusively indoctrinating and propagandizing us at birth, that we are nothing and that we can't trust ourselves and that we know nothing. And that's the grand trick of this whole stupid game that they've got set up for us. This whole illusion is by us in our healing process, instead of focusing our attention on ourselves and learning how to trust ourselves, we just continually throw our attention and worship everywhere else. So if you're trying to break free and you're like, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to politics anymore. I'm just not going to do it. But instead, you're numbing yourself with entertainment and sports stars, and you're numbing yourself with listening to this yoga instructor, and you're numbing yourself by worshiping this breathing master. You are doing the same thing. They don't care if you're into politics, if you're into music, if you're into sports, if you're into entertainment, if you're into yoga, if you're into breathing classes, if you're into Tai Chi, if you're into Qigong, if you're into meditation, if you're into this, that. They don't care, because they know it's all distracting. It's all taking away from you, from focusing on you, because we are human. We're not Tai Chi. We're not sports. We're not entertainment. We're not all these myriad different things that are part of the superfluous illusion that encompasses us and enslaves us. That's how they trick us. That's how they get us. That's how they keep us bogged down with extraneous bullshit. And until like I said, I mean, the most important thing you can do is take back the one true thing of value we have in this world, which is our attention. You got to take back your attention. You got to focus it in here. And you have to stay 100% aware of where your attention is at all times. It's fine to take your attention and throw it here and watch a YouTube video here to get some information here and there. That's fine. But to sit there, you have to be ever present and ever aware of your thoughts and what you're thinking. Because if you are not, then you are mindless. Then you are on autopilot. Then you are in programming mode. And when we're healing, we can't be in programming mode because that's what we've been in our whole lives. That's what got us into this fucking mess, is running on autopilot and not being aware, not being present, not reasoning what our actions are at every given moment. So there were two things I wanted to touch on. One of the important things was what we put in our mouth. The other thing is, guys, we need to start speaking, not bitching, moaning, griping, and complaining, but taking that bitching. Okay, so those are our stories, right? We've been held down, we've been oppressed, we've been suppressed. We recognize our enslavement. We recognize the fact that we're working and half of our paychecks getting taken by evil entities that are warring all over the world and doing evil things in our names. We realize, that the judicial system's rigged. We realize that all of our sports are rigged. We realize that entertainment's mocking our abuse. We realize that, our family doesn't give a fuck. We realize that our friends are zoned out zombies. We realize all this. Okay, that's fine. That's the first step. Congratulations, you've taken the first fucking step in this healing process. The first step is recognizing and accepting things for what they are. Now we need to move through. We need to utilize the faculty of our minds, guys. We need to utilize our intelligence and our faculty of reasoning. Our faculty of reasoning is taking all those things that we just said. Oh, I'm being suppressed. I'm being oppressed. Everything's fucked up. Everything's rigged. Everything is made to be confusing, to be circular, to be a paradoxical. Okay, why? Why? What would the purpose be? What would the purpose of that be? Oh, well, that's classic abuser behavior, classic predator behavior, classic manipulator behavior. Okay, so what do? Well, the only way to win a game that the predator puts out for you is not to play the fucking game. Okay, so how do I act? Oh, I do not participate in my own enslavement. I quit giving energy to those things outside of me. I quit paying attention to all of this horse shit that I have no control over, like wars and politics and entertainment and sports stats and who's going to the Super Bowl and all this stupid, ridiculous nonsense. Because that is called worship. Worship is where you put your time. Where you put your time and energy is what you worship. So you're either worshiping yourself or you're worshiping everything outside of you that is keeping you on this hamster wheel of enslavement and abuse. And thereby you are perpetuating. You are part of the system and perpetuating and propagating the abuse and toxicity onto others and making it known that you comply and consent to all of this shit by your participation. So, although it is great that you got started on this journey and you're recognizing and accepting things, you need to take the next step. Because that is a dangerous trap to get trapped in, is the trap of hopelessness and helplessness and pity, self-pity and shame and guilt and all that stupid shit. And you're going to get stuck there unless you start using your faculty of reasoning, because your faculty of reasoning is not just going to say, oh, it's all me. It's going to start you with your reasoning. This is what distinguishes us from brutes, guys. Go back and watch my videos. I'm covering all of this on both my channels. On both of these channels, all of this is getting covered. You need to start thinking. You need to start reasoning, because reasoning will then, by the time you get done with your reasoning, you have formulated a plan of action. And that action is going to be opposite. It's going to be contrary to the steps that you've been taking that have been digging you deeper into this enslavement. It's going to start, it's your answer. And like I said, we are just now for the first time ever thinking for ourselves and utilizing the faculties of our minds. So we have to be easy on ourselves, because the answers you come up to real quick at the beginning of this journey might work for you at the beginning, for the first week, for the first 2 weeks, for the first month, for the first 2 months. But I guarantee as you grow and you learn to trust yourself and your intuition gets sharpened and your senses become more sensitized, because they're no longer dulled with all the poisonous toxins that you've been intaking, and you're getting sharper because you're becoming more aware and ever present, you are going to have to reformulate. You're going to have to come up with new answers. And that is fine. Your new answers might contradict your old answers. That is fine. You have to be easy on yourself. You can't say, when you come up with these new answers, go, oh, see, I can't trust myself. I'm just an idiot. I need to go look for experts again because I was wrong. No. We have to understand that we have been lied to. We've never utilized the faculties of our minds. We have been taught not to. We have been abusively programmed and propagandized that we are idiots and that we're stupid. So we have been totally manipulated into not utilizing our faculties of our mind, which is our intelligence, our innate, meaning we were born with intelligence, and our reasoning, and our will, where we put our will, our intention, so where we set our mind to. So, we are what we think. We are what we're living every day. And if we're choosing to live in the mire, in the muck of horseshit and distractions and entertainment, then we're no better than that entertainment. If we're choosing to toxify ourselves through our mouths, ears, nose, eyes, and skin, then we're no better than our toxification. Think about it. It's very simple. It's extremely simple. And I'm going over, look guys, I'm probably going to post this on Richard Swink YouTube channel. But I'm going to be uploading another video today on utilizing our mind and how our mind works over on Embodied Souls YouTube channel. So you guys need, and the past several videos on Embodied Souls YouTube channel is going over how our mind works. They're like anywhere between 20 and 30 minute long videos. Just play it in the background. Listen to it, guys. I am explaining in detail the proof that these agencies that control us, these institutions that control us, these organizations that control us, these industries that make money off of our control. I am going over all of the studies that they have done for the past 100 years and more. And they know for a fact how to control us. And that's what they've been running off of. So it is up to you. You are disempowering yourself and willfully consenting and complying to your idiocracy by not coming to terms with how our minds work, and that you have power and control over your mind. And by voicing and just bitching and moaning, complaining, you are voicing your enslavement. You are voicing your powerlessness. So when you start voicing differently is proof that you are now taking power back of the control of your mind. Because you're no longer going to say, oh, I'm just a piece of shit. Oh, I've fucked up my whole life. Oh, I can't do anything about this. Oh, I'm enslaved. Oh, I'm powerless against everything. Oh, my authorities are so powerful and in charge. Oh, I'm in charge of nothing. Because you will realize that there are so many powerful things that you can do right now, and you can literally cut yourself out of the system right now, at this moment, right now. Cut yourself off from the system. Quit, and you'll be able to quit immediately, giving power to these systems that you gripe and moan and complain about. But you have to take the action. You cannot purposefully and consent and comply and toxify yourself with the shit that they sell you to keep you down, and expect to grow out of this and expect to heal, to become whole, to take back what is rightfully yours, your birthright, by willfully poisoning yourself. It's ludicrous, guys. That is ludicrous. That is called insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You're doing the same thing that you did as a slave now that you recognize your enslavement and expecting to become free. You need a new mindset. We can do this, but we have to fix our mind first. We have to think differently in order to be differently, in order to live differently. We cannot have the slave mindset and be free men. It's impossible. So anyways, I just want to touch on that and reach out to y'all. I hope this inspires, encourages you guys. Guys, we got to be courageous. So the second step in this whole thing, guys, that we have that's so powerful, and I'm just coming to realize this myself, is speaking out. So we have to speak out. And when we speak out in a manner that that is conducive to our healing. We speak out, yes, about these things, but we speak out about not in general how we're enslaved, but we speak out about our own experiences. Sorry, getting gas. We speak out about our own experiences, our own stories, our own truths. That's the thing we need to speak. We need to tell our own story, not speak out and not dwell on our story, but we need to tell our story and then analyze it for ourselves and see the changes we need to make. By telling our own story and where we're at now in our journeys or what we've been through, we are first of all being courageous for ourselves and proving to ourselves that we care enough and are strong enough and brave enough to tell our stories, and we're not going to be that weak-minded, slave-minded zombie anymore. But we are also showing other people that they're not alone, that there's other people struggling. There's other people that need help. There's other people that need encouragement. There's other people that need to be inspired by us reaching out with our energies. And instead of giving our attention to these celebrities and sports stars and politicians who don't give a fuck about us, but we need to give it to the common man, our brothers and sisters in the struggle. We need to give that attention to other people who are down and out and having a hard time and don't have any of these conveniences like these ultra rich, ultra privileged, ultra, agents of the state do. Most of us, 99% of us, are just completely enslaved with no benefits from the system. So we need to tell our stories. We need to reach out and tell our stories. And what I mean by tell our stories is not sit there and just rehash all the bad things, all you're enslaved. No, we need to say, look, I was an alcoholic for 25 years. I had 3 kids that I regret now that I regret bringing into this enslavement. And I was obviously looking back, I can see how enslaved I was to even selfishly bring other souls into this world because I wanted something to love me. And now that I'm awakened to, the enslavement I propagated on these young people, I realized my responsibility towards them. So, and I also realized I can't save anybody outside myself. So in that, I am personally trying to and attempting to and doing everything I can every day to better myself. Right now, where I'm at in my journey and what I'm doing to save myself is I have cut out my TV. I've cut out my Netflix. I've cut out all politics. I'm not paying attention to any politics. I am no longer watching sports. I am still struggling with sports, so I'm watching I'm reading the stats in the newspaper. Whatever, but just what you are doing to detach, what you are doing to heal, to actually heal, not a woe is me story, but what you're thinking, what you're processing through the faculty of your reasoning. Those are the stories. Like I said, you guys can email me with those stories, whether it's a paragraph, whether it's 10 paragraphs, and I'll dedicate a video just to your story and keep it anonymous. But we need to start telling our stories, because that is how the powers that be keep us down as a group. As a group, that's how they keep us down, because they have taught us they've taught us that it's okay to talk about sports, to talk about entertainment, to talk about politics, to talk about education, to talk about indoctrination, to talk about everything. We can talk about everything except for our struggles. We're not supposed to talk about our struggles. Don't talk about your ailments and your struggles. Don't talk about you're not allowed to talk about, they labeled everything a conspiracy theory, right? Everything's a conspiracy theory. This was all done on purpose. The CIA came up with that term in the 1970s over the JFK assassination to discredit anybody trying to investigate and think critically about the assassination. And they have used that since then to completely disregard and disempower anybody who's trying to speak out against these abusive systems and their propaganda. So anyways, just a couple things I want to touch on this morning. I'll be putting this video is probably going to be on Richard Swink's YouTube channel. I'll put another video or two up on this Embodied Souls YouTube channel today. But like I said, if you have not gone back and watched these videos I'm putting up on the mind and how it works over on Embodied Souls YouTube channel, you need to go watch this, and you need to think real hard about who's controlling your mind. So that's it for now. Remember, guys, take care of yourselves, because nobody else will.